Welcome to Texarkana College's Jenzabar e-learning video series. In this video, you will learn how to take a test in your e-learning course. Once you have your course open, there are two different ways you can access your test. If you go to the course organizer and then navigate to the unit or chapter or topic that your test is in, and in this one I have it in Unit 1. And once I get to Unit 1, I can go down to the coursework section and I see my quiz on Chapter 1. And I can click on it and get to the quiz. Or the second way is to go up to coursework. And remember, in coursework, this shows all of your assignments for the entire semester. But I can go to my Unit 1 and click on my chapter quiz to open it there as well. Both methods will take you to the test. I will just click on the test here in coursework to open it. So I'll click on quiz chapter 1 and it will take me to the coursework page. Again, both methods of getting to the test will take you to the same place. And I can see that the chapter quiz is open and can now be taken. It tells me when the due date for the test is. It tells me that it is a required assignment and it's scored out of 100 points. I can only take it one time. It has a 60-minute time limit, and that time limit will start as soon as I click the start link below, which is right here, and this is how you get to the test. When I click on start the quiz, it'll spin a little bit there, and then here is my test. And again, the clock has started. Up here at the top, it'll tell me the name of the quiz, which is quiz chapter 1. It'll tell me the time limit that I have, how many questions are on the test, and how many points the test is worth. I also have a little hourglass here that tells me the amount of time that I have remaining in the test, and then a save progress button. And then here in the yellow box, it keeps it down to the second on how much time I have left. And then the test appears below that. So what I will do is I will go down and I will answer my test questions. Question 1, the key statement of American Ideals is, say, the Constitution. Blank are limits on the government so that people can freely exercise their rights. I will say civil rights. What court case formed the basis test for obscenity? Miller versus California, maybe. The Fourth Amendment is generally referred to as preventing unlawful search and seizure. So I would go through and answer all my questions. Now, one of the things I suggest that you do is that after you answer each question, you go up here and hit the Save Progress button. Now, it does, or it's supposed to, automatically save. But I just feel more comfortable if you would save progress after each question or each couple of questions, in case it doesn't. That way, if something happens and you get kicked out of the test, it will have saved those answers. So you would go through and answer all the questions in the test. And when you got to the very end of the test and finished, and again, this test has 50 questions on one page. You might, depending on your instructor, have just 5 questions per page, or maybe even just 1 question per page. But do remember to always go up and hit Save Progress after you've answered each question. It might save you some time later. So once you get to the end of the test, you click on the Submit This Chapter Quiz. And it'll spin again for a little bit, and it will come up and it will tell you what your grade is. Also below that, If you can only take the test one time, which is the way I set this practice test up, below that you can see the ones you got correct and the ones that you missed. Of course, I didn't answer most of them. I got of the four, I got two right and two wrong. If I want to look at what the entire question was and the answers, I can click on expand all responses, and I can see here that I said the Constitution. The correct answer was the Declaration of Independence, and it tells me it was incorrect. If I get it right, it'll put a green check in front of the answer and tell me that I got it correct. Of course, I didn't answer, and it tells me I didn't make any selections on the rest of these. But you can see, depending on how your instructor has it set up, your responses and the questions and the correct answers. Now, on this test, I set it up to where you could see the questions and the correct answers immediately after the test was completely graded. Some instructors will have you wait until after the due date's over, or other times there's two or three options that the instructor has, so you might not see this every time. It will tell you though when you can see it, when you get this far. Now, one of the things, if you do get to see the questions and you think there's a problem, say, I know for sure that this was probably keyed in wrong. Instead of the Declaration of Independence, it should have been the Constitution, maybe. Then what you want to do is to write down the number of the question on your test so that you can email the instructor and say, I will, have a question about this particular question on my test, and I think it might have been keyed in wrong. That way, the instructor can go back and look at your particular test and know exactly which number to look at, because sometimes mistakes are made, just impossible not to. But if you write down that question number that you have the question about, that really helps the instructor to go back and look at it and possibly correct it if there was a mistake, or they might could give you, the answer to why that really is the true answer. And that's all there is to taking tests. Now, this test just happened to be an all multiple choice test. You could have multiple choice questions in this test bank. You could have fill in the blanks. You could have essays. You could have short answers. My example was just strictly a multiple choice questions. But if you've got a fill in the blank question, it would have a blank there and it would allow you to type in the answer. Or if it was an essay question, it would have a space for you to write your answer. Taking a test in Jenzabar's e-learning LMS is not difficult. Hope this helped.